Big news, there's an all-new Ford Ranger pickup coming, and for the first time ever, it will be available as a Raptor in the United States. Finally, I'm Tom Volk, and this is a preview of the 2024 model that will be available in the fall of 2023. Welcome to this preview of the 2024 Ford Ranger pickup, and let me stress, this is a preview, not a review, because no one has driven the US spec Ranger yet. But this should give you a good idea of what to expect when it drops in the fall of 2023. Ford has even announced pricing, but let's get to the truck. You don't want to see me. Ranger has been available in other parts of the world for some time, so Ford says it's been tested with the equivalent of nearly 5 million customer miles before the US launch. Ford says it has improved the frame. It's fully boxed and uses high-strength steel. The wheelbase and track have both grown by 2 inches. The back shocks and mounts have been repositioned outboard of the frame for a better ride quality. Ranger was already pretty good, certainly better than Tacoma. Plus, ground clearance and approach and departure angles have been improved. As for usability, max towing is 7,500 pounds, max payload is 1,800 pounds. Let's talk engines. The standard Ranger, which will be available in XL, XLT, and Lariat trims, will have 2 choices. Unlike the Maverick, you can't get it with a hybrid powertrain. The base engine will be Ford's 2.3-liter EcoBoost with 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. If that's not enough oomph for you, there's the optional 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6. That makes 315 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. Those who do a lot of towing and off-roading might want to go with that. There's one transmission, that's a 10-speed. The 4-wheel drive system has an available electronic shift on the fly. Before I go any farther, let's talk about the Ranger Raptor. It's about time that Ford brought this to the US. For starters, it gets its own engine, a 3-liter EcoBoost V6. It makes 405 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. It gets a different advanced 4-wheel drive system, front and rear locking differentials, and an electronically controlled on-demand 2-speed transfer case. As you might have guessed, the suspension is modified. There's longer suspension travel with a Watts-Link rear suspension and 2.5-inch Fox live valve shocks. The front frame rails, front shock towers, rear shock brackets, and suspension mount points are all reinforced so they can take more abuse. The Fox shocks change their damping amount depending on the drive mode, which includes off-road, rock, crawl, and Baja. Raptor just looks different. It's pretty easy to tell the difference between it and the regular Ranger. The grille is bolder, there are frame-mounted tow hooks front and rear, the flared fenders get functional vents, there's 33-inch BF Goodrich all-terrain tires on 17-inch wheels, and beadlock wheels are optional. There are also skid plates underneath to protect your investment. The interior gets trimmed up with code orange accents. There are 6 overhead switches that off-road gear can be hooked up to. And of course, there's a camera system. Those really do help when you're doing intense off-road action. Same with the bolstered seats. Let's get back to the standard Ranger, which again will be sold in XL, XLT, and Lariat trims because obviously those will be the volume sellers. Ford says there are improved materials in the cabin, something that we can all get behind. The standard instrument cluster is an 8-inch screen. You can upgrade to a full-width 12.4-inch unit. The interface is Sync 4. There's a built-in 4G LTE modem. There's better storage in cubbies now, plus an optional wireless phone charger. The center console and door pockets are larger. An optional second glove box, too. Ford has redesigned the second row storage, and now there's fold flat seat backs, so you can lock up big things like tools, coolers, and TVs that you keep upgrading. The folks at Costco know you pretty well by now, huh? Plus, there's room behind the seats to keep tools and other equipment. The bed gets some upgrades. It's some 2 inches wider now, and there's over 4 feet of width between the wheel wells. Should make it easier to load. There's now an optional side step in the box. That'll help when you're trying to reach things in the cargo area. A 400-watt power inverter will be a godsend for tailgaters and campers. The tailgate gets some of the tricks found in Big Brother F-150. I always thought that the ruler and clamp receptors were a super idea. There's lots of tech too. The blind spot monitoring covers the trailer length if you're towing. Ford's Pro Trailer Backup Assist and Trailer Reverse Guidance System makes maneuvering trailers much easier for novices. I'll admit I suck at that. And the top trim Lariat will be available with a fully automated parking system. It works for both parallel and perpendicular spots. There are over-the-air updates too. Which brings me to pricing. A base Ranger starts at about $34,000. The Raptor, $57,000, and yes, that does include shipping. Order books open in the next couple weeks, so if you want your Ranger as quickly as possible, I'd get on that. These should start seeing Ford showrooms in the fall of 2023. Now let's not forget, Toyota has an all-new Tacoma coming. That's the 500-pound gorilla in this segment. The GM twins, Colorado and Canyon, are getting really good reviews. I would check those out. Remember, these vehicles are not inexpensive, so it pays to do your homework and your test drives. Well, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe to this channel, click notifications, and follow me on social media. And check out my regular reviews. They're much different than these previews, okay? If you got questions, leave it in the comments. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.